Hey, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Grandpa coming to you from the living room in Jack's Beach. And I'm here to do a little blues for you today. This is a 1-4-5 12-bar blues. I'm not going to get into what that means, but traditionally you would sing through a line, sing through a second time, and the chord structure is always the same. And then you'd resolve that line. And the reason that I'm doing this today is because a man named John Mayall died the other day. He wasn't one of my great musical heroes. I like the blues. I love jazz. John Mayall had these bands. There were different iterations of them where he'd bring different famous people. And they'd go on tour, they'd do a series of concerts, and they'd put out an album and stuff like that. They were called the Blues Breakers, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. He's a mouth harp player. I don't play the harp. So you get to listen to me pretend to play a kazoo. Because it adds to it. If you listen to the real song, and you should do that, you'll understand why I'm doing the kazoo here. He did an album called Turning Point in 1969. It was amazing. Instead of having blues musicians with him, he had jazz musicians. He had a guy named Johnny Allman who played saxophone, I think a couple different kinds of saxophones in this. And this is a live recording of a concert someplace. And the flute. Amazing musician. And then there was a guy named John Mark who played guitar, but played not guitar like this. He played like I think it's a classical guitar, a finger-style guitar. He would sit there on stage. I went to see one of the iterations of the Blues Breakers. And it was a great concert. It was a blues concert. They had this little old black dude that just played the heck out of a guitar, an electric guitar. He's done things with Eric Clapton and all the people that, dabbled in the blues and all the people that were really into the blues. After this Johnny Allman and John Mark started their own band called Mark Almond. I had, I think, 2 albums that they put out. I don't know if they put out anymore. They were very good albums. And I'm pretty sure I went to see them one time. I never saw this iteration of the band. But I listened to this album so many times. And so he passed away. He was 90 years old. He lived a good life. I didn't know that much about him, except that one time, many years ago, I saw this article, like the headline of an article, and it said that he had the largest porn collection in the modern world. So I don't know how you figure that out, but it must have been pretty big for somebody to say, oh, it's the largest in the world ever. And this song's about marijuana laws. I'm not into telling you to do marijuana. This is just the song that I picked. It's a telling song. Some of the stuff in this song, you go, oh, it's just like that today. And I'm sure when you guys get older, you'll be going like, yeah, the stuff that he was talking about in this song, it's true today, like in 2050 something or 2060, 70 something. Let's see if there's anything in here. Like he talks about a guy named Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was a comedian, but he did like social commentary kind of comedy back in the 60s, I think, 50s and 60s, and he died at a young age. I don't know what he died of, but he died at an old age, I should say. And so he talks about him in here. The other thing is, he says every time you're holding, you're guilty of a crime. Holding means that you had a bag of marijuana with you, and so people say, hey, are you holding? So in that, he's saying every time you have like a little bit of pot in your pocket, you're breaking the law. And the laws must change. So here's The Laws Must Change by John Mayall. The time must surely come for the laws to fit their time. The time must surely come for the laws to fit their time. While the law is standing, you gotta open up your mind. It seems to be the fashion to say you're right and they are wrong. It seems to be the fashion to say you're right and they are wrong. But if you don't seize both sides, you'll find yourself in jail for long. You're screaming at policemen, but they're only doing a gig. You're screaming at policemen, but they're only doing a gig. Trying to take the time to figure out how the issue got that big. Lenny Bruce was trying to tell you many things before he died. Lenny Bruce was trying to tell you many things before he died. Like don't throw rocks at policemen, get the Nazi law untied. Every time you're holding, you are guilty of a crime. Every time you're holding, you are guilty of a crime. The laws must change one day, but it's gonna take some time. Peace out.